Today we commemorate All Saints' Day, one of the few days in the calendar which has the privilege of kicking a Sunday out of its calendar. Most of the time, if a feast day or a solemnity falls on a Sunday, the feast of the Sunday, whatever calendar day it is, trumps and wins. But not today. Today we remember all the saints, known and unknown, that have made it to heaven. In their lives and their witness, we get hope for ourselves. Now, as we hear in the book of Revelation, the life of a saint is not an easy life to live. They wash their clothes white in blood of the Lamb and in tribulation, in trial, in difficulty, because they live the life of Christ. They conform themselves to Christ, as too we all should. If we are, as our psalm says, a people that long to see the face of God, we must conform ourselves to God, so that when the day is done, when the battle is fought and won, we may see God face to face, for that is what heaven is. To accomplish this, to achieve it, as I said, we must be like Christ. In our gospel today, we hear the Beatitudes. Blessed are the meek. Blessed are those who thirst for righteousness. Blessed are those who mourn. Now, we can't assume they'll be blessed only by the supernatural action of God. Yes, God does occasionally intervene in reality with immense supernatural action. For example, a little side story, a friend of mine and myself were talking this week about St. Henry II, who was crowned Holy Roman Emperor of the Holy Roman Empire, mainly Germany, Austria. And before his coronation, he told the Pope all the ways it was going to be done. This, that, we're going to say it this way, that way. We're not going to do that prayer. We're going to do this prayer. And the Pope agreed, because Henry may or may not have been outside the city walls of Rome with an army. But in his prayer that night, it was the Feast of the Nativity, Christmas Eve, he had a vision of the angel Gabriel, the Christ child, sitting on Mary's lap. And the angel Gabriel read the account of the Nativity, kissed the gospel, handed it to Jesus. Jesus took it, hopped off his mom's lap, walked over to Henry, and bashed him in the side of the leg. St. Henry II walked with a limp the rest of his life. Sometimes God will intervene in miraculous and supernatural ways to remind us that he is God, that the universe is his, and to help those who are in great pain, great trouble, great sorrow. But that doesn't excuse us from our task, from our mission, to fulfill the call of our baptism. In baptism, we are baptized into the body of Christ, made sharers with the work of Christ. We are baptized into his priesthood, his prophetic nature, his kingship. And as such, we have that great joy of seeing God face to face. But not only in heaven, but here, as we conform our lives to that of Christ, to that of mission and the gospel. If we break down the Beatitudes, every one of them is something we can practically help with. We can do. We all know people who have lost loved ones, who might be lonely, especially in this time of year as the holidays begin to gear up. We can bless them by calling them, by visiting them. Okay, maybe not visiting them, but we can let them know we love them. Even if they've lost their loved ones 5 years ago, 10 years ago, they probably still mourn. We can bless them, comfort them. Those who thirst for righteousness and justice, we can help that. We can look after that. We can vote with a conscience. We can call senators when we see injustice. We can participate in making this world a place which Christ would be happy to come to, so that the second coming is not a time of tribulation and judgment and damnation for the world, but a joyous celebration. We can make the world a better place, as we are called to do. We are called to be Christ active in the world, to bless those, to care for those who need caring, to look after the meek, to look after those who seek justice, and to comfort those around us. Most of us do not have the immense power of God that can change and bend nature at a whim. But that doesn't mean that we can't make massive influence, massive impact in the lives of everyone around us: family, friend, neighbor. We are truly called to live out the Beatitudes, not only as those who seek them, not only as those addressed as the meek or the humble or the mourner, but as Christ giving the blessing, helping those who seek justice, helping those who thirst for righteousness, comforting those who mourn, and doing all the things we can do to make the world a place we all enjoy living in, and a world that is truly witnessed by our lives and the life of Christ.